Good morning, everybody. Welcome into an NBA version of Chop Talk, brought to you by the one, the only DFSArmy.com. I am your buddy Choppadong, and I am coming at you on November 21st for a 13-game NBA slate before we get ready to go stuff our faces with some turkey and some goodies on Thanksgiving and say hi to Grandma. So what we're going to do today is we're going to bust down the and one player pool. We're going to focus a little bit at viewer request on a little bit of finding punts today. So strap in, grab your pen and paper, let's get to work. We're going to try and keep this bad boy short so that we can get out and get on the road toward Grandma's house in a timely fashion. But what we're going to do first, we always take the research station, we sort by and one, by descending, so that we can start assessing the overall depth of the slate. When I'm looking for that, I want to see how far down we get to go. On a 13-game slate, it's going to be deep, right? So we're going to really be hunting for some value today. Look at that. I've never seen us have to scroll down that far. That is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But we're going to cut down. We're going to include maybe the top 6 or 7 from each position. We're going to have a little bit bigger player pool today. You're going to want to focus on value for cash games. You might not pay up for those studs necessarily. We're going to focus on probably a little bit more balanced roster construction. We're going to try and avoid duds. But what we're going to try and do is focus on getting the best matchups possible, and that's what the and one metric allows us to do. So when I look at the point guards, I'm looking at Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, Kemba Walker, Damian Lillard, Kyle Lowry. We'll probably stop at about there, 5 or 6. We want to build as tight a player pool as we realistically can when we start looking for these players. We want the best of the best, draw lots of lines in the sand, and it's just going to have to be where it is. You have to evaluate a player pick when you look at them. How does this relate to all 13 games? Because I have so much to choose from. Is this splitting hair? You're going to be splitting hairs somewhere, but is this game over here better than that game? Is this player in this game better than that one? That's the challenge on these giant slates. If you want to, and you're a little bit more of a beginner, it's very, very easy to go control by cutting out the games, cutting out the times, and get down to the slate you want to play. And play the smaller slates. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm doing that over in NHL. If you didn't see my NHL video, I will link it in the comments description area here of this video. You can always click and become a VIP by clicking DFSArmy.com. You can always use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, trigger that 10% off discount. And actually, coming up here in a couple of days, we're going to have a special coupon code, 25% off your first month, Black Friday. One word, Black Friday. That would be the coupon code. It'll be active probably Thursday at midnight, and it'll probably roll through at least Friday. We're contemplating whether or not we want to roll it through all 3 days. But if you know you want to do this and you know you want to get in here and you've waited long enough, just take the 10% off for life and get in here now. The other one is 25% off for your first month. So take the 10% for life and just jump on in here today. DFSArmy.com. While you're down there, click the like, click the subscribe, ring the notification bell so you get all of the alerts and updates when I drop these videos. And out on Twitter, follow DFS Diary. That is my pinned tweet, and that's giving you all of this video content as it unfolds. Pretty much right away. So it's a good way to keep up on what we're doing inside DFSArmy.com. Shooting guards, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, Levine if he plays, Booker, Schroeder, McCollum, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. We always know to follow Drew Holiday. Elfrid Payton's out, and we know to watch for AD news. If AD suddenly sits or isn't used as much, we know that spikes his production as well, or at least it tends to, along with others. Chris Middleton, we might stop it right about there. Small forward, I just about called that San Francisco. Guys, I'm getting dizzy today. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We just did a 14-game NHL slate, which was just enough to start spewing the smoke out of my ears. Giannis, TJ Warren, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Gary Harris, Paul George, Trevor Ariza, Ingles, Hayward, Crowder. We might get down to, there's your first punt play of the day, Ariza and Crowder. But if I look at the and one, I can see that this is overall a fairly deep position. I might benefit by paying down in that spot. Power forward. AD, Ibaka, Favors, cheap, third-rated, high and one rating for a $5,600 player. Siakam, Griffin, Tatum, Nance, Millsap, Kuzma, Ingram, Sabonis, about where I would stop here. Center, Embiid, Jokic, Gobert, Gasol, Horford if he plays, Karl Anthony Towns, Ayton, Jordan, Tristan Thompson might be a value play, and that's about where I'm going to stop in there as well, even though I can keep going if I want to, but I'm going to try and stick to the top. And when I can find a cheaper guy up here at the top, I might opt for that position or that option and prioritize that. Now, when I've got my basic and ones figured out, and I've written those down by position, and I know who I'm watching, I'm going to scroll over here and I'm going to look. This is an indicator of value, an indicator of an indicator of production, price not keeping up with production, and that's pace. And look at the pace here that Donovan Mitchell's receiving tonight. 4, even for Ibaka, 4 extra possessions can translate into fantasy points for you. That's one indicator I like to watch. But really what I'm going to do when I'm looking for value and punts is I'm going to use this and one metric on a day like today. I'm going to go to Fanduel salary, and I'm going to cut this bad boy down. And I'm going to go less than, say, 4,500. Since FanDuel gives us the drop score, FanDuel salary under 4,500. I want to look for guys that are projected over 20 points, and I want to find guys that are under 4,500 bucks, and I want to find guys that are running high value. Now, the high value is going to go with the over 20. If I want to, I can cut this projection down to only those, needs to be greater than. Let's start that over. Call it about 19.5. I know, why would I roster an 8-point guy? I want guys that are scheduled to score about 20 points or so, because that's going to bring me 5x value or more. And that's what I'm typically looking for. 5.7 points, Kevin Looney. If news breaks, now it's early in the day, but if news breaks and we find out that Looney's going to get a minutes bump, bang, you're going to really want to jump on that guy. Another one, Wilson Chandler. Vonleh again. DeLon Wright. These are guys that are scheduled to score over 20 points. All these guys are in play. These are your cheap punts today. Look for these guys down here in the 3K range too, the sub 4K range. These are your drop score candidates that could blow up on a night like tonight. 21 points, he probably won't be your drop. You'll probably have somebody else dud somewhere in your lineup, and you'll get to keep him for free for 3,700 bucks. That's the fastest way that I can show you how to do it. What you're going to find, though, is that when you get down under 4,500, you're going to lose this and one rating quite a bit. You're not often going to find guys in the double digits in this general realm, but what you're looking for is our projections, our industry-leading accuracy projections, third-party rated, as a matter of fact, and you're going to find that these guys typically are going to perform. Are they all going to perform? No, it's basketball. I'll bet you 60 to 70% off this list do just fine, though. And I bet you 20 to 30% of them dud. That's just the way it's going to be night in and night out. You're trying to dodge the duds. And how's the best way to do that on a giant slate? In my opinion, make a couple of lineups. Don't just build one big lineup and then risk all of your bankroll on that one. What I would do is I would spread out a little bit. I would have one main lineup, 80% of my money on it, and then maybe 2 with 10% each, or 65% with 2 with like 20% each on them, or something like that. And then I would throw in a smattering of GPP type lineups where I spread out again. And I'm going to try and cover as many bases as I feasibly can. I'm going to be heavily weighted towards what I determine and what I build as my optimal lineup, definitely. But what I'm going to then try and do is center around some hedges with some different exposures and some different players. And maybe we'll do a video on that in the Domination Station sometime and show you guys how we can kind of protect against ourselves using different unique players. That's something that the industry doesn't typically allow you to do, is switch and swap out those unique players and force diversity into your lineup. I'm finding a lot of optimizer sites out there that don't allow that, and it's not as flexible a build for you as we have for you inside DFSArmy.com. The other thing we can do is control by player exposure, and that's going to force guys in and out of our lineup depending on how we use that option or use that tool. It's another neat little trick that we use as VIPs inside DFSArmy.com to make better winning lineups. And if you don't believe me, run over here to our wall of wins. And what I want you to do is take a quick peek at when this guy loads up. We've got members winning thousands and thousands of dollars on an annual basis, on a fairly frequent basis. We just popped one in $100,000 in NFL. We just popped a couple more, $14,000, $15,000, 2018, 2018, 2018, 2018, 2018, 2018. I mean, guys, this is just going back since just about Halloween. Join the winning team, for crying out loud. Get off the fence. But here's your punt plays again today. Another thing that I can do is I can take the salary restrictions off. And only those sorted over, I can clear off those over 20 points because obviously we're only looking at those. I want to find out who my big value guys are tonight, because that may dictate whether or not I even punt. I may build a very balanced roster construction on such a large slate. So I sort by descending on the value, sort our projections out, and I'm going to be looking at who does DS like. 5.9. DeAndre Jordan, massive spot for him tonight. Now, check his game log. Let's go check his consistency numbers, actually. He's burned a lot of people fairly recently. So there, 12% at 6x, 25% at 5x. Little boomer bust. It's got a great spot tonight, but you might save him for your GPP type builds where you can take a little bit of risk and you don't mind so much if you miss on a play. I wouldn't necessarily use him in cash if he's not hitting 5x consistently, even though he's scheduled at 6x tonight. Wendell Carter, Kevin Looney again, Gordon Hayward, Mitchell, Vonley, Chandler, DeLon Wright, Levine if he plays, Ball, Iguodala, Cat, $10,000 salary, 5.1 projected points. There's a decent center for you right there. If I scroll over on Cat and look at 5x at this projection, I hopefully see about the same thing because $10,000 is hard to hit value, but 30% of the time better than DeAndre Jordan. 20% of the time at 6x better than DeAndre Jordan. I mean, man, that's a beast, right? These are the players that the DS, the domination station, is going to like and is going to put in a lot of your lineups. If you like them, you leave it alone. If you don't like them, you maybe bump their points down a little bit. You can pull players in and out of your lineup when you learn how to massage the numbers inside that domination station. It's a pretty cool metric. If you need it, under the domination station tab, NBA tutorial, learn how to use the thing. Got tutorials for everything that we do. Trying to think of something else that I could show you really, really quick, and there's really not a ton because this is where I form my player pool, and then I jump into my Slack channels here. I go into the NBA talk. I go into the NBA coaches news and notes, and I start watching for guys that are going to start listening to the news around the industry for me and are going to start reporting when guys get usage bumps, minute bumps, point projection bumps. They tell me when the domination station adjusts so that I can go in and rerun it and see if my player pool. I'm going to go in and select my player pool by checking the boxes and making sure that players that I want are in there and players I don't want are not. But then I'm going to let the projections and let our coaches and let our experts do the work for me, and I'm going to let them build my lineups through the optimizer. Like I said, I'm going to select my player pool. I may tweak some projections. I may tweak some exposures. I may increase or decrease the number of unique players I want per lineup, and I'm going to run 4 or 5 lineups tonight, and I'm going to run them out there in cash and GPP alike, and I'm going to try and spread the wealth a little bit and hit something pretty hard. That's typically what we do, and that's when these guys land on these $50,000 and $100,000 winners. I don't play contests that are that big that really win those types of contests, but you see we've got guys that do. I tend to play more cash, more 100-man leagues, more small GPPs, and I tend to hit those because I hit those a little bit more often than somebody's going to hit those massive lottery ticket type. Not that $100,000, I wouldn't turn it down. I just don't typically play in those contests. And I run experiments all the time so that I can dig in and teach you guys some of these things, learn these tools, and play with these tools. I don't even know the NBA league all that well. You know, I couldn't even tell you where half the guys play, their home games. But I can tell you who's in good matchups. I can tell you who's bringing value, and I can build competitive lineups and learn the league as I go. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up Chop Talk for the NBA for today because so much is going to change between now and 6 hours from now that you're going to need to be a VIP. Click the link, dfsarmy.com. Use coupon code CHOP for the 10% off. If you're really, really a cheapskate like I am, hold out for Friday for the Black Friday coupon. And click that and knock 25% off your first month. I can't help you after that, but I can take 25% off that first month. And from there, get inside, get the coaching, get the last-minute lock pivot news that tells the usage bump, tells you how to incorporate certain players into your lineups, and use our coaches and use our experts that are in some cases paying their bills with NBA money. Get in here today, activate that before you drive to grandma's house, and go stuff your faces so that you can sit back and play basically NBA the rest of the season. I know that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'll be in the Slack channels monitoring our coaches and whatnot, so I'd love to talk to you. Jump in here today, dfsarmy.com, Chop Talk NBA, 13-game slate, November 21st, wrapping it up. We'll come back for a little bit of NFL talk later today, and then we'll kick it into the Turkey Day weekend for everybody. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.